Hi, Shelby. Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
Do you hear
Do you
me?
hear me?
I don't
I
hear
don't
you.
hear you.
Okay, try now.
No, I do hear you now.
Okay, I think you're connected to my watch, so that's why I couldn't hear anything.
Where do you live? Where are you out of?
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, is that where you're from?
Yeah, pretty much most of my life.
What part?
Near Raleigh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Family like in the military or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been going out there quite a bit the last few years, flying into Raleigh specifically, then going over to Fort Bragg or whatever they call it now,
Yeah.
for work with the Army.
Yeah, I think I saw either you and Boz. You guys came to 12th State for a quick visit for Wheelwad, which is pretty big in our area. So
Yeah, he did. I missed that. I think I went there a few days before he did.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So trained basically outside of Raleigh, right around Raleigh.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah. It's a good
Which
place.
which gym do you train at?
It's called 12th State CrossFit.
CrossFit. Okay.
Yeah, great gym.
I know. I think that when did I go there? I don't know if if I went there on the last trip I was out there, but I've definitely been there before.
Yeah, I think I know Boz came and some of our members were like, "Hey Dave, how's it going?" And we had to be like, "This is Boz, not Dave," kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's
But
funny. I've never heard that happen before.
I
Uh,
heard from other people apparently we had to like slap some sense into them and be like, "God, you're blowing it, guys."
that's really funny. You qualified to the games twice as a teenager,
I did,
correct?
yeah.
And then there was a kind of a few year gap before you qualified as an individual.
Yes, yeah. I qualified last year and the for my rookie year and then this year again.
What how many years was that gap?
So 2017 was the last year I made it a teenager, and then last year 2023, so 5 years.
So I think that's not as uncommon. Like it's pretty common that
Hmm.
the age group athletes, not all of them right away break that barrier and go straight into the individual side.
Yeah, it's really impressive that some of the athletes are able to do it, or
Yeah,
even like cut their teen years short and just go right to individual. I'm not sure how they do it, honestly. I felt like I was just so, I don't know, my body was just so different, and now I feel like I'm coming into like an adult, I guess, or like
yeah.
becoming into my abilities just now at like 24. So not sure how they do it. It's very impressive.
During that gap year or those years, the gap of years, did you were you still just focused on trying to make it as an individual, or did you kind of think, I don't know if this is something I want to do, or were you just like completely focused on it?
I was I was kind of deciding if I wanted to do it still. I was kind of going back and forth and figuring out my life. I was in college and studying engineering, and so I really was interested in that. And then I had aspirations to join the military, and so I kind of was getting pulled a lot of different ways. And just a young 20-year-old trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And so now I'm doing, everything I want to be doing, which is great. But definitely I had like the 5 years was me figuring out like who am I and what am I going to do and how am I going to be happy and enjoy, this crazy life. So
So you didn't go into the military.
I ended up not. I just had more interest in engineering and I didn't want to really give up CrossFit. And so I kind of went all in and then, or well, all in and have a job still, but all in using my job and made it to the games last year. So it was great. It all worked out.
And you graduated from your engineering program.
Yeah, NC State.
Okay. The and then so in that journey while you were when did you graduate? 2 years ago or 3 years
Yeah,
ago?
2022.
So after you graduated, you kept training and then realized you had a chance to make it. What point? When did you realize like, yeah, I'm graduating, I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna qualify for the games?
Yeah, it was 2022. That year I was competing in the MAC and I got very, very close. I was basically fighting for a qualifying spot, the last qualifying spot, and it was like between me, Rebecca Fuselier, and Kelly Clark, and all three of us were, whoever won the workout was gonna go to the games, and it was a workout that was just so like in my wheelhouse. It was like very gymnasticsy, and it had, heavy stuff. Like it was good for me. And I just kind of like let them beat me. I just let them go. And it just like lit a weird fire under me. And I knew I had the ability. I just didn't have like the heart yet. And so I kind of spent the whole year just really just, focusing on all my weaknesses and focusing on like something deep inside myself. And then I found it last year. Still had some bad events, but we were able to qualify and do well. And then this year it was like, I think it really showed on the floor at semis, which was cool.
How'd you do at semis?
Good. I got fifth in the East. So definitely a tough region. Proud of
Yes,
myself.
great. Yeah, definitely something to be proud of. Going
Yeah.
back as a second year athlete, has your perspective changed from your rookie season, or how are you viewing it?
Yeah, I definitely feel a little more like I belong. I think last year I felt a little out of place and a little bit like, what's going on? What am I doing here? How the heck did I get here? Sort of thing. And then this year I'm like, everyone's going to feel kind of like not at home in the new venue, which is, it's kind of good for us, newer athletes. It's like no one has like a home field advantage. We're all kind of going in, from the outside, and I'm excited for it. I think I have my mindset right, and I feel super fit. So I'm excited to show it off.
That's great. What's your programming, or what do you follow, or do you program for yourself, or what's the story?
I switched to a new coach this year, and so my coach is David Spur, which he's Dave Fikowski's, or my God, Brent Fikowski's coach. So that's kind of how I,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I combined them. Dave Fikowski. His
Yeah.
name is David Spur.
Okay.
But yeah, he's great. He's awesome.
And he programs primarily for you?
Yeah, he programs for me, and then Brent's like kind of our like my teammate slash like assistant coach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How much, I mean, you have a full-time job, it sounds like. So how much are you training a day?
Yes, that is a difficulty in my life, but yeah, during the week I'd say I get in like 3 hour, 4 hour trainings sessions in like after work. Some days I like Fridays I do a double session, and then my weekends are really big, so that's why I'm usually just like a potato kind of on Sunday night. But yeah, bigger like 6 hour trainings on Saturday, Sundays, kind of where the majority of my time goes on the weekend, and then just as much as I can get in during the week.
Well, it's impressive because I don't like a majority of the athletes I talk to, an overwhelming majority,
Hmm.
do this full time. And
Yeah.
like very few I talk to all have a job and train. So you're an outlier for sure. In the
Yeah.
modern era,
Yeah.
in the old era of athletes, there were a lot who had full-time jobs and
Yeah.
did this, but nowadays that is definitely not the norm.
Yeah. It's a tough life, but we do it.
Well,
And
it's incredibly impressive. You should be proud. You should be very proud. Yeah,
thank
at
you.
such a young age that you are juggling and doing both, and doing them both successfully. That's a major accomplishment.
Thank you. It's definitely overwhelming at times, but I think it plays into like, you know, I have a lot of hard days very often where I don't get a lot of sleep, I don't get to eat, nothing's like going well. And so on game day, on game day it plays well because it's like game day is always so much better than a normal average day of training. So just like circumstantially, I guess if that makes sense.
We met in passing last year, I remember, correct?
Yes, yeah, at the briefing a couple times.
Yes. Okay. Okay. How far did you make it last year?
I made the last cut, so I was 19th, top 20, which was a good goal for me for rookie year.
Yeah. So you did the whole weekend.
Yes, that's my goal is to do every event.
Did you feel beat down last year, or did you feel pretty good?
I was pretty beat down. I think I was less beat down than I expected to be, but it was less physical and more mental, I would say. Mentally, I was not myself for a month or maybe 2 months after the games. I was telling people, I was like, I'm a shell of who I was. Do not talk to me. Like, if you talk to me, it wasn't me. Sorry for anything I said.
Did you take a big break after the games last year, like from
Yeah.
training?
Yeah, I did. I took like a month off completely, and then I'd come back for another month just doing like classes at my gym and just having fun. Oh, what are you doing today? Jump in with them, sort of thing. I took another week off to go like surfing in Costa Rica. It was amazing.
That's the right way to approach it, I imagine.
Yes, yeah. I think that mental break is needed because our season is so long, and if you do semis and the games and Rogue, and then you try to do Wadapalooza or Dubai or anything like that, you'll be on for 8 months of the year. And then when it comes time to make it to the real event, like the games, you end up not doing as well. Like priority for me with my job and everything has to be on semis and the games, and that's where my interest is not the other competitions as much, more so the main event.
Do you do those other ones?
I haven't really in the last couple years. I've tried and I've just burnt out too quickly, and so
Yeah,
I try to focus on, qualifying for the games, semis, and then doing well at the games, and then kind of anything else I do is mostly for fun.
makes sense. That's a good way to
Yeah.
approach it, especially because you have a full-time job. What do you think of Chad?
Chad. I'm excited for Chad. I think Chad's a good test. I think it'll be fun. I'm very curious what the twist will be.
I can't wait for you guys to find out.
Yeah, I think I have some guesses, but I don't know. I have this weird feeling no one's gonna guess it.
We'll see. I don't know. I haven't looked at many of the guesses, or I haven't played that game with what people are saying, so I don't know if anybody's guessed it yet. But it'll
Yeah,
be. I talked earlier. I did an interview, the last one I did about 45 minutes ago. I talked briefly about it's one of those ones that I'm glad we did it on July 4th because of the
yeah,
significance of it. But it would have been such a good one to keep to announce like the
yeah,
morning of, like with no mental preparation or no, like that would have just
yeah,
been really cool to do. But it is what it is, and so I'm
yeah.
so happy with how it went down. Um,
Well, it's
and
kind of epic to have Jocko announce it.
yeah,
So
yeah, epic to have Jocko announce it on July 4th.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I
I think you
was
did good.
thank you. When we were doing all of this, I was like, okay, so because we've announced Murph in the past on July 4th and other things on July 4th, I was like, I want to do a July 4th announcement. And at first I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I was like, well, you know what? Like, I don't want to do it. If I can ask Jocko and see if he'll do it, that's way
Yeah.
better. So I asked
Yeah.
him. And he's super cool. He's been super great about all of that.
Nice. Do you guys just text about this kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I'll just shoot him a text. Hey, Jocko, you mind announcing the workout for me on July 4th, or for the open? I shot him a text. Hey, Jocko, you mind doing the open announcement? And he's like, yeah,
He's just like, good. Yeah, good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I'll get
Um,
that done.
yes. Well,
That's
before we get off, and I appreciate. I mean, I guess, geez, it's almost 8 o'clock there. I appreciate you hopping on at the last minute.
yeah.
Um, with knowing you have such a busy weekend, and I imagine you're going to work tomorrow. So
Yes.
thank
Yeah.
you. Before we hop off, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, I do have questions, but I don't think you're gonna answer them.
That's fine. I like those are the best.
Those are the best. Any weird water implement this year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'll say this. I think
Okay.
um, the weird water, some of the weird water implements are hard to implement. And what I mean by that is like stand-up paddleboarding, for example.
Yeah.
People for years speculated we're going to throw in stand-up paddleboarding, but the difference between someone who really knows how to do it on a stand-up paddleboard and does not know how to do it is like massively like
Mhm.
those who stand-up paddleboard have a huge advantage. It actually turned out that way with the prone paddleboard. We thought, and I thought, that the prone paddleboards would level the field out way more, which it did
Yeah.
for the most part, except for the few Aussies who knew how to get on your knees and really dig. Once, if
Yeah.
you knew that technique, you had a big advantage
Yeah.
over everyone else. They were just good paddlers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
life jackets. We're gonna put you guys on life jackets and just
You have
that's
to swim, but you have to
yeah,
do it
yeah.
in a life vest.
Little yes, exactly. Water wings.
Water
That'll
wings.
that'll be the weird implement.
That would be
Um,
kind of goofy, honestly. You'd make us look pretty silly out there.
yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
We don't do that. I don't try to. We don't try to do that intentionally. Sometimes, though, by the nature of what, like, here's the thing. I never think of like, yeah, this is a way to make them look goofy. Like that's the last thing we want to do because it
Yeah.
doesn't represent any of us
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah. Definitely don't want to make the fittest on earth look not very fit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you very much, Shelby.
Yeah.
It was a joy chatting, and look forward to seeing you in Texas
Yeah.
and catching up some more.
Awesome. I'll see you in Fort Worth. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.